Hello and welcome back to my little reading journal thing. It's been a little bit, even though I've still been reading. I haven't been making these videos and stuff. These are going to be a little bit shorter because my memory's fading and the other ones just are too long as well. So thank you, co-host. Let's start off with Godkiller by Hannah Kaner. It is a fantasy heavily inspired by Celtic, Nordic religions and practices, mythology, that sort of thing. It also kind of gives off like maybe Japanese like Shinto feelings to it, where like, I mean, even like patron saint-age type things, where like everything you could possibly think of has a god associated with it. There's a god of broken sandals, there's a god of waterfalls, there's a god of fire and vines and that sort of thing. So it takes place in a world where the fantasy aspects revolve very heavily around gods of things and ideas. You can gain power and blessings by praying to certain gods, which can elevate your status. Just so happens that very recently there was a war to end all gods, to bring around the age of, kind of the age of man. Like, get rid of the gods. They are tricksy and, they don't have our best interests. I mean humans. So the story follows the life of 4 characters. Kissin, a Vega, who is a god killer. Inara, a young girl who has just had to flee her homestead after it was burned down. Elogast, an old knight from the war against the gods. And Skediketh, a small god of white lies that is tied to the young girl Inara. They are all going on a journey to go back to the city where the god war went down. Inara and Kissin are going there to hopefully find a way to sever ties between Inara and Skediketh, the god of white lies. Elogast is going back to try to gain a favor from a god so that he can save his friend. On the way there, lots of, little details are unraveled. It's quite a nice slow build. You learn a lot about characters. There's also one of the characters and the god, Inara and Skediketh, they can both see auras, and this sort of helps with the slow burn. They can sort of tell what's going on. They can tell what people are truly feeling and if they're lying and that sort of thing, which, helps. Instead of a whiplash where there's like a huge twist, you're sort of slowly peeling back layers, which, was a nice little thing. Because gods are illegal, or praying to them, just knowing about them, it's kind of weird, but crushing of the old religion sort of feeling. Anyway, they have to be smuggled back into the city of Blenraden where the god war went down, because making a pilgrimage to anywhere where there could be gods is frowned upon, if not outright illegal. On the way there, there's lots of troubles. Elogast is carrying a mark on him that brings about demons. Slowly, there's more and more demons. It's very hard for the 3 of them to deal with them, and it brings about a bunch of struggles. Eventually they get to Blenraden, and that's where they get to Blenraden. Anyway, I rated this one I think a 3.5 out of 5 or so. I bring this up a lot when there's certain types of writing, but sometimes it feels like books to me feel a bit, I don't know, they remind me of like anime, where things just happen because a character wants them to happen. There seems to be very little, it seems like everything has like main character plot armor. you know when you start reading the book, you get a few chapters in, that everything's gonna be okay. Sure, there might be a twist here or there where someone dies, but the world doesn't seem indifferent to the characters. I'm not the biggest fan of that. There's also some inconsistencies in the strengths of the characters, which, kind of reminds me of like a superhero movie where, at one point they are having trouble punching through a wall, but then with no discernible reason for gaining more power, they punch through an entire building. That's like the main gripes that I have with it. Other than that, like it's a debut novel, and as a debut novel, it's absolutely great, and I recommend it. The type of religion or mythology or fantasy in this to do with those gods, like patron gods, is really cool. I highly recommend it.